the Republican freak show is more fascinating every day. Thomas Jefferson wrote a set of rules for the House of Representatives. They're referred to as Jefferson's rules. They're still in use. Right? These were Jefferson, and I believe he wrote these as when he was Secretary of State in the George Washington administration. So I'm not. That's a long ago memory, but it may be that he wrote them even before that. It might be a little after that. But in any case, it was these. Thomas Jefferson wrote the rule that there is this thing called the move to vacate the chair. And what this is, by the way, Paul Ryan has said, yes, I'll take the job that you guys just drove John Boehner out of, but only on one condition, that you lose for yourself the power to do to me what you did to John Boehner. And because what the Freedom Caucus, which used to be called the Tea Party group, and really what we should call them is the Koch caucus. I mean, none of these guys would be in office where they are as they are without Koch brothers money or similar kinds of money. And the rest of the Republican caucus wouldn't be terrified of them if it wasn't for the fact that they all know that if they don't go along with these hard right, this hard right cancer that's growing in the Republican Party, that the Koch brothers will fund, or a group like theirs or associated with them will fund a primary challenger. And these guys are up for election every 2 years. So, hey, life is short. So what Paul Ryan is saying is, if you guys are willing to vote to change the House rules, which can be done with a simple majority, so the Republican Party can do it all by themselves, and throw away this rule that Thomas Jefferson put into place, which says that any member at any time can put onto the floor of the House of Representatives a motion to vacate the chair. In other words, basically an impeachment petition for the Speaker of the House. And then there will be a debate, and then there will be a vote, and the Speaker cannot prevent this from happening. And if 51% of the House votes to end that Speaker's rule, then that Speaker loses, is kicked out, and a new Speaker is put into place. And you will recall, it wasn't Ron Johnson, it was one of the guys who was one of the leaders of the Freedom Caucus back about a week before the Pope came to town. And this is why, I was not all that moved by these comments that the Pope said something to John Boehner and he started crying and decided, I just can't do this anymore. It's just too evil, and quit his job. In fact, what had happened was, in my opinion, was a week or so before that, a move to vacate the chair was either threatened or dropped by one of the leaders of the Freedom Caucus. Representative Meadows. Thank you, Shano. My own Google here right next to me. It's who one of the right-wing congressmen. Did he drop it? Did he put it on the floor, or did he just threaten it? It really doesn't matter, because it's something that the Speaker can't stop once it happens, and it's basically a vote of no confidence. And so Paul Ryan is saying to the Koch caucus, you guys have to give up that gun that you used to hold up John Boehner. I mean, they threatened John Boehner. They said, we're going to kick you out if you don't do what we want. He said, I'm not going to do what you want. They said, we're going to kick you out then. And he said, screw that, I quit. And so now Paul Ryan is saying, I'm not going to I'm not going to be caught in that same position. If you want me as Speaker, you have to give me all the power, and you have to eliminate your own power. And, just putting it in really simple terms here, I'm guessing that this is probably not an analysis that you're hearing in great detail on television and radio. I don't know, maybe you are, but that's really what's going on. This is about the Koch, billionaire-funded wing of the Republican Party trying to take down the Chamber of Commerce-funded wing of the Republican Party. This is the rise of the billionaires. This is, remember the Brooks Brothers riot, when Tom DeLay's staff went down in 2000 to bang on the windows in Florida and say, stop counting the votes? That way they called it the Brooks Brothers riot because they were, where did all these people in suits come from? They represented themselves to the press as being local Floridians, but actually, most of them were from Tom DeLay's staff here in Washington, D.C. DeLay was Speaker of the House at the time. as I recall. And so, that was the Brooks Brothers riot. This is the billionaires riot. This is again, it's a proxy riot. It wasn't Tom DeLay down there banging on the windows. It was people working for him. This isn't the Koch brothers demanding that the cloth coat Republicans, the Wall Street Republicans, the business oriented Republicans lay down their power and bow down at the feet of the billionaire Republicans. Well, that's essentially what it is, and I find it fascinating that like nobody is looking at this in terms of this schism between a Republican Party bought and paid for by business interests and a Republican Party bought and paid for by ideological billionaires, people who are very, very, very single agenda. There's a couple of people like the guy, Tom, what's his name? Donahue, I think. No, Tom Donahue is the chairman of the Chamber, U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The guy who started Domino's Pizza, Tom, what? Donahoe. Yeah, okay, I was close. Tom Donahoe, he's a billionaire and his single issue is abortion. He hates abortion. Okay, so somebody's going to get his money. You got Shelley Adelson, his single issue is Israel. But the real big single issue, which is pushed through virtually all the front groups associated with the Koch brothers and funded very heavily by ExxonMobil and others, is denying climate change. The constituency is the fossil fuel industry. And the people who became billionaires as a result of that think that, hey, we've got a better way to run this country than even, the founders had. It's remarkable. And in the midst of this, you've got Jeb Bush being attacked by Donald Trump. Why is it that a Republican candidate, why do you think, actually, for that matter, that a Republican candidate can just come right out and speak a painful truth about about other Republican candidates, but within the Democratic Party, you don't see that much happening? I would say it's because the Democrats actually care about governing. The Republicans, pretty much every Republican is either hustling on behalf of somebody or trying to get as much power as possible, or both, right? And so, Donald Trump can, it's just amazing, the tweets, the World Trade Center came down in his reign, he says on Bloomberg, and then Jeb Bush says, that's pathetic. He says, we were attacked and my brother kept us safe. And Trump replies in Twitter, no, you're pathetic for saying nothing happened during your brother's term when the World Trade Center was attacked and came down. By the way, Jeb was governor of Florida when 12 of the hijackers acquired legal identification in Florida. BuzzFeed has a piece excerpting a 2000 letter from Donald Trump warning of the potential for a major terrorist attack on U.S. soil, in which Donald Trump makes specific reference to Osama bin Laden. Trump knew it. Bush didn't. This is getting bizarre.